Luck support is back and Phantom Dancer is broken. You guys know the drill. It's time for another Korean builds video. What is up, Team ProGuides? I'm so happy to be back with you all. Welcome back to another ProGuides Korean builds video for patch 10.11. In this video, we're going to be keeping you guys updated on some of the new builds we've taken notice of in Korean solo queue. I also wanted to let you guys know we do have a Discord and a subreddit, so make sure to check out those links in the description because we want to connect with you guys. We're trying to build this amazing community of people who just want to improve. So if you're one of those people, come join us over there. And if you guys want to get better at League of Legends, you guys know where to go. Go find your Challenger Coach over at ProGuides.com and download our app, where you can find a Challenger Coach at any time you want to help you with your gameplay. Alright guys, now with that being said, we're going to be covering builds across all of the roles, so make sure to stay tuned to the very end. Wait, did I forget something? Oh, that's right. The question of the day. Our question of the day: which role is the strongest? While Riot has explicitly stated that mid lane is a little overtuned right now, I still feel like in lower elo, junglers have a lot of agency. They can really influence the map if they have great map awareness, but as well, mid lane is very overtuned. With mid, you're able to influence the entire map. It's a great way to climb, so if you guys want to climb, I would recommend junglers or mid laners. Junglers aren't as strong as they were a bit ago, but you know what? They've been working for me. Let me know your answers down below. Would love to see what you guys have to say. Alright guys, kicking off the video, let's talk about a new Darius build we found. If Darius wasn't OP enough already, well, things might have just gotten worse. With the various Zeal item buffs that have hit the live servers, it should come to nobody's surprise that champions that aren't marksmen are also trying to find ways to abuse them. Phantom Dancer Darius helps mitigate one of Darius's few weaknesses, which is his mobility. Phantom Dancer provides even more base movement speed than before, and you also have to remember that his passive also provides some extra movement speed after attacking an enemy champion. Darius players have been running Ghost to make use of his incredible damage output, running down their opponents since they can't run away from someone faster than them. Add in Phantom Dancer and he's even harder to get away from. For runes, run Conqueror, Triumph, Legend Tenacity, Last Stand, Nimbus Cloak, and Celerity. Even with Phantom Dancer, you should still be running Nimbus Cloak and Celerity. Mobility is incredibly important on Darius, as getting kited can make an OP champion feel quite useless. For items, you're going to be building a Black Cleaver, Ninja Tabby, Phantom Dancer, Mortal Reminder, Guardian Angel, and a Death's Dance. Next up is a new Jax build. No Phantom Dancer here, but that's probably not a bad item choice either. One of the best Jax top players in Korea has started running Electrocute on him. What this does is it provides Jax some more early game burst damage. While Jax does prefer extended 100 types of fights, that's not always possible, especially if your opponents are trying to kite you. With the various marksman buffs this patch, it's inevitable that we're going to be seeing more of them coming back up to the top lane. By taking Electrocute, it becomes easier to trade with and also burst down those typically squishier lane opponents. You don't need Conqueror to win your duels with Jax, and stabilizing early or picking up some kills is much more valuable. For runes, you're going to be running Electrocute, Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter, and Coup de Grace. For items, you're going to be building a Trinity Force, Blade of the Ruined King, Mercury Treads, Randuin's Omen, Maw of Malmortius, and a Death's Dance. Alright guys, that concludes the top lane builds for this patch, so like always, take a look one last time on the screen as we head to the jungle. First up in the jungle is a flashless Kayn build. Sounds a little strange. Just like Shaco and Hecarim, Kayn is joining the Ignite hype train. Running Ignite and Smite amps up your damage and dueling power even more. Kayn already has pretty solid mobility. His Q was buffed a few patches ago, lowering its cooldown. Instead, running Ignite makes it so that Kayn has some extra damage to fight his opponents with. While Stalker's Blade is still an excellent option, and one we see quite often on Kayn, you can instead run a Skirmisher's Saber. Combined with Ignite, a challenging Smite provides so much dueling power that practically any 1v1 becomes winnable. Let's not forget that healing reduction is one of the most important forms of utility this season as well. For runes, you're going to be taking Conqueror, Triumph, Legend Tenacity, Coup de Grace, Ghost Poro, and Ravenous Hunter. You know, the standard stuff. But for items, you're going to be building a Warrior enchantment on a Skirmisher's Saber, Black Cleaver, Ninja Tabby, Death's Dance, Thornmail, and a Spirit Visage, or Visage. however you want to pronounce it. These items are somewhat flexible, but you have a right to know that Death Dance and Thornmail synergize incredibly well. Not only does this build make Kain incredibly tanky, but he's also able to heal through a ton of damage, as the damage he reflects is also counted toward Death Dance's healing. That's pretty broken. I'm going to try him out. Alright, now on to Fiddlesticks. We've been talking about how Fiddlesticks has been OP for a while now, and players have finally caught on to this. While Electrocute is a solid keystone rune on him, Predator is equally as effective. Both of these runes provide a comparable amount of damage, but Predator provides a ton of movement speed for Fiddlesticks to take advantage of. Fiddlesticks' ganks can sometimes feel a little lackluster, especially if he's not using his ultimate or catching opponents by surprise. By running Predator, you don't need the element of surprise nearly as much. Instead, you can quickly run through wards and get in range of your Q to fear opponents for guaranteed crowd control. Using it as teamfights break out also allows Fiddlesticks to quickly run to his team or run to a good spot to ult from. For runes, you're going to be running Predator, Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, Ingenious Hunter, Futures Market, and Cosmic Insight. The biggest thing to note about runes is to swap Ultimate or Ravenous Hunter for Ingenious Hunter. This will lower the cooldown on Predator boots as well as Zanya's Hourglass, so if you're running this setup, make sure to double check that you've made this change. For items, you're going to be building a Runic Echoes, Sorcerer's Shoes, Zanya's Hourglass, Marillanomicon, Rabadon's Death Cap, and finally a Void Staff. Nothing too different about the items here. That's a wrap for the jungle, so once again, we're going to be throwing these builds on the screen for you one last time as we head to the mid lane. Players have been slowly adapting to the Diana nerfs by taking advantage of a particular systems buff several patches ago. That's right, Phase Rush Diana is in. As an assassin, it's obvious that you want to be able to chase down your targets, and Phase Rush Diana makes this a breeze. Activating Phase Rush is extremely easy for Diana. It's a natural part of her full combo. By using Phase Rush, Diana is able to better position herself for her ultimate once she's activated the burst of movement speed as well. Overall, this keystone is quite versatile and can also be used defensively to survive early ganks as well. A, Q, W, and basic attack can be used on a ganking jungler, or if they're in between Diana and her turret, she can W, E, and basic attack them to quickly retreat to their turret. While you do sacrifice some damage with this build, Diana still deals an incredible amount of burst damage already. Sometimes it's more worthwhile to take utility over damage when you already have enough of it. For the runes, you're going to be running Phase Rush, Mana Flow Band, Absolute Focus, Scorch, Shield Bash, and Bone Plating. Shield Bash is a great trading tool for Diana, and when paired with Bone Plating, Diana is able to go for extremely aggressive trades early on. With Phase Rush, she can quickly retreat after an initial trade, and the combination of Shield Bash and Bone Plating make it so that Diana will take very little damage in return. For items, you're going to be building a Hextech Proto Belt, Sorcerer's Shoes, Marillanomicon, Zanya's Hourglass, Rabadon's Death Cap, and a Void Staff. Next up is Omnistone Twisted Fate. As a ranged champion who uses a ton of different keystones, it's no surprise that Omnistone is finally being used by Twisted Fate. This build was popularized by Fnatic's Nemesis and has quickly caught on in high elo solo queue across several servers. Basically, Twisted Fate can make use of every keystone quite well. Grasp of the Undying, Electrocute, Arcane Comet, and Fleet Footwork are all keystones we've seen TF players use at some point in his existence. However, quite literally, Twisted Fate can use all of them. Even accessory keystones like Press the Attack, Aftershock, and Predator aren't that far-fetched for Twisted Fate's use. This build also leans more toward an attack speed build, as this also makes it easier to utilize more of the keystones Twisted Fate pulls from the bag. For example, Lethal Tempo and Press the Attack aren't that strong with AP Twisted Fate, but ADTF can easily take advantage of them. For runes, you're going to be taking Prototype, Omnistone, Magical Footwear, Biscuit Delivery, Time Warp Tonic, Second Wind, and Overgrowth. For items, you're going to be building a Trinity Force, Wit's End, Mercury Treads, Rapid Fire Cannon, Zanya's Hourglass, and a Hextech Gunblade. The last item is a flex item. It doesn't really need to be a gunblade by any means. We also want to mention that Rapid Fire Cannon was buffed along with all the other Zeal items. so Twisted Fate has even more mobility than before with his build. Chasing him down can prove to be a very difficult challenge, especially if he randomly rolls fleet footwork during a fight. One last time, here are all those mid lane builds up on the screen for you guys. These are especially strong, so I suggest you give them a try in a normal game. If you guys want to head into ranked, I recommend you find a coach first. Go to ProGuides.com or download our app and go find a challenger coach to help you out. Alright guys, next up, let's talk about the bot lane. Yet another champion using Phase Rush is Senna. While we typically see here use Glacial Augment, this build replaces it and provides a slightly different playstyle option for Senna players. Let's talk about the runes and items first. For runes, you're going to be running Phase Rush, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, Gathering Storm, Conditioning, and Overgrowth. For her items, you're going to be going a Black Mist Scythe, Manamune, Edge of Night, Guardian Angel, Mortal Reminder, and a Ninja Tabby. While slowing opponents is always an option, being faster than them accomplishes similar results. There are trade-offs with this setup though, but there also are benefits. Normally with Glacial Augment, you can tag a single opponent and slow them down. This means that you and your teammates will be faster than that single target. However, if you're being hunted down by multiple champions at once, it can be pretty difficult to escape even if you manage to slow one of them. Phase Rush doesn't take this into consideration as it's a self-buffing keystone. As long as you activate it, well, it doesn't matter how many opponents are on your tail as long as you can outrun them. Overall, this makes Senna a slightly safer laner and team fighter, but she does lose a little bit of that utility as she won't be as strong at helping her team make picks. You guys have already probably seen this build across several YouTube videos or even memes, but our analysts now actually think that it's good because Zeal received another buff. Yes, Speedy Jhin is in. Jhin gains an immense amount of movement speed after he critically strikes, and as a result, he can kite melee champions pretty easily with enough crit chance. With Zeal items getting buffed, well, guess what? Building 2 of them on Jhin is much more enticing than it was before, as it'll make it a giant hassle to actually catch him. For runes, you're going to be running Electrocute, Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter, Presence of Mind, and Legend Bloodline. For items, you're going to be running a Storm Razor, Boots of Swiftness, Rapid Fire Cannon, Static Shiv, Infinity Edge, and a Mortal Reminder. The key with this is to build Storm Razor and then 2 Zeal items right afterwards. This build provides Jhin with so much safety. Zeal's 2% movement speed buff means that Jhin will have 4% more than before when he builds 2 of those items. Storm Razor allows him to momentarily slow opponents with the energized effect, meaning that catching him will be incredibly hard. Also, you'll hit a giant mid-game power spike as this build rushes 3 items with the energized passive, providing a ton of extra firepower in hit-and-run scenarios. Even if you don't think this build is good, at least give it a try. It's super fun, and the worst thing that comes out of it is you found something to do in normal games with friends. Alright guys, that's going to conclude our bottom lane builds. Let's put those on the screen one last time as we wrap up the video with supports. Alright, so we actually have some more Senna for you guys. For support Senna, a build we've been seeing much more often is Grasp of the Undying Senna. Grasp of the Undying allows her to access more of the resolve tree while also providing her some extra firepower when trading or poking down opponents. On top of this, the build also stacks a ton of health to increase the amount of damage Grasp of the Undying deals. Unfortunately, ranged champions do suffer a penalty with this keystone, but that doesn't mean that it's not viable. One important thing to note is that Senna can actually activate Grasp of the Undying with her Q as well. After basic attacking the wave, she can slowly charge up Grasp and then fit in some decent poke with a Grasp-empowered Q. For the runes, you're going to be running a Grasp of the Undying, Font of Life, Bone Plating, Revitalize, Presence of Mind, and Legend Bloodline. For her items, you're going to be building a Black Mist Scythe, Boots of Swiftness, Black Cleaver, Frozen Mallet, Edge of Night, and Mortal Reminder. While you're giving up Glacial Augment with this build, you can basically gain it back by building a Frozen Mallet. This build makes Senna much tankier while still allowing her to deal a decent amount of damage. Black Cleaver provides a plethora of stats that Senna can utilize, especially the cooldown reduction as well as armor shred it provides. Black Cleaver, Edge of Night, and Mortal Reminder allow Senna to deal incredibly high amounts of damage while also providing utility for her team through armor shred and grievous wounds. Next, Spellbook Galio has found his way into the bot lane. Spellbook allows Galio to use various summoner spells to activate Nimbus Cloak. Nimbus Cloak alongside Shirelia's Reverie makes it nearly impossible to outrun Galio, thus leading to easy taunts. These items and runes provide so much extra movement speed and make Galio an extremely terrifying support to play against. For runes, you're going to be running Unsealed Spellbook, Hextech Flash Traption, Minion Dematerializer, Time Warp Tonic, Nimbus Cloak, and Celerity. Hextech Flash Traption is an added bonus and is extremely convenient that you can run it alongside Nimbus Cloak on Galio. When Galio is able to secure control of brushes, he can provide ridiculous amounts of pressure on his opponents. Hex Flash provides a burst of movement speed as well, and with it, Galio can try to land a taunt on his opponents after jumping out of the brushes. For items, you're going to be building a Bulwark of the Mountain, Mercury Treads, Shirelia's Reverie, Knight's Vow, Zeke's Convergence, and a Gargoyle's Stone Plate. Finally, with the recent Lux buffs, Lux is once again making her presence known in the bot lane. Twin Shadows Lux has emerged in solo queue because of the insane amount of utility and pick-making power it has. Lux's ease significantly slows down her opponents as a result of the buffs, but if you add in Twin Shadows, the amount of crowd control Lux can provide is absolutely oppressive. It becomes practically impossible to run away from Lux with the setup, and Twin Shadows also acts as a setup for her to land an easy follow-up for her Qs. Like any crowd control, it can be used flexibly as well. Twin Shadows also makes Lux a great disengage support. She can use her E to slow her opponent's advances, then tag them again with Twin Shadows to continue buying time for her teammates. For the runes, you're going to be running Arcane Comet, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, Scorch, Cosmic Insight, and Biscuit Delivery. For items, you're going to be building Shard of True Ice, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Athene's Unholy Grail, Twin Shadows, Redemption, and Ardent Censor. Alright guys, that's going to conclude our support section, so make sure to check out that screen one last time as we conclude the video. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. That's it for our Korean builds video this patch, and we wish you guys the very best luck in climbing this season. I don't know about you guys, but I'm quite happy taking walks now. I've really enjoyed my climb the past couple months, but it is nice to also get outside and take a break before going back on the grind. Let me know if you guys are going out and taking some walks too. I think it's a healthy thing to do. Just make sure to wear a mask. Alright guys, and make sure to check out our Discords and Reddit links as I mentioned. They will be down below. If you guys want to get better at League of Legends, you know where to go. Go to ProGuides.com and find your challenger coach right now. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck in your next few games, and I'll see you on the Rift.